Hi, I'm Deborah Burian, and I'm just thrilled to be showing my art here at Graceful Arts Gallery. I grew up drawing. I lived in very rural Ohio, and we did not have television, and so we had endless paper and pencils. So I and all of my brothers and sisters drew all the time. I continued that through high school, and then at university I met my husband. We got married. Life took over as it does, but I always continued to draw and sketch in journals and sketchbooks with my hiking out of doors. So one day I was sitting on the rim of a trail in the inside of Grand Canyon and doing a sketch as I do, and the sky turned an absolute lavender color. And at that moment I knew I had to start adding pigment to my colors, to my sketches. So I was still backpacking and sketching when I backpacked, so I picked up a watercolor kit because I could use very little water and carry an ultralight kit. So I started painting on my own, and then through the Prix de West at the National Cowboy National Cowboy, whatever they call it now, the Cowboy and Western Museum in Oklahoma City, I started to study with a very, very good watercolor artist there, Joseph Bowler. And that was the beginning. And I've been painting in watercolor very seriously for about 15 years. I've been represented by galleries for about 10 of those years. In the last year, though, during COVID, like lots of people, I tried something new. I did a lot of experimentation in different media and had been wanting to experiment in oil. And so I started doing that this late last summer, actually, and just fell in love with the medium. The depth of color, the textures, the other things that you can get in oil that watercolor, as much as I love, just doesn't produce. So I expect to continue painting in oil because my primary interest is capturing the landscape and celebrating public lands. Many people don't realize how much of the land around us is publicly owned and thus belongs to all of us, and those lands so desperately need to be protected. In my show here, you'll see that I have a painting of a sandhill crane lifting off this Great Salt Plains wildlife monument. And the only reason the sandhill cranes are still here is because forward-thinking people created a refuge really in an attempt to save the whooping crane, but it benefited the sandhill cranes as well. So I'm particularly interested in those kinds of areas and areas where the land needs to be protected, which no harm, it's no coincidence that they're also stunningly beautiful, and that's really where I intend to focus my art in the future, is on landscapes and continuing to advocate for the protection of public lands. You can contact me either on Facebook at Deborah Burian Artist, on Instagram at Deborah Burian Artist. You're sensing a trend here. And I have a website, deborahburian.com. I'm also represented here at Graceful Arts Gallery. I have a show hanging through the end of the month, and they've also asked me to display in their gift shop, and I'm represented by Contemporary Art Gallery in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. But by far your best way is deborahburian.com or my Facebook page. Thank you so much.